Hello and welcome to another Bible Time. This is the Wednesday edition. I'm Pastor Bruce, and we're following along with the Believers Fellowship Daily Bible Reading when we're reading through the Old Testament together, which is a program we started in January, a 2-year plan to read through the entire Old Testament. And we thought that would be a great thing to do for us as a church, to expose ourselves to the Old Testament, some things that maybe we're not as familiar with as in the New Testament. And then when the coronavirus struck and we were kind of confined and locked down, as we thought of other ways to reach out and to teach, we came up with Bible Time, which has proven to be, at least for me, a great time of just studying the Old Testament, thinking it through, learning from it, and then just passing on some of the things I'm learning to you along the way. I trust that this has been really helpful for you as well. And again, you start to learn how we understand books of the Bible, and we understand the context. And as you read through the book and you start to get what it's all about, you kind of get into the rhythm of the book and you understand what's going on. And here, the writer of Chronicles, he's not so much given history, although he is, but he's only talking about selected things. He's assuming that people know the history from the book of Kings, which was written way earlier. The book of Kings was written to the people while they were in captivity to help them understand why they're there. And now this is written after the captivity. The people have returned to Jerusalem. And so it's a different group of people. It's a different purpose that this book is written for. And he's writing to encourage these faithful people to be faithful to the Lord, because he has proven himself faithful. And you see that again here in these chapters. You see in chapter 12 the end of the life of Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. And here you see something very important. He was unfaithful. The people of Israel were unfaithful. So God sends Egypt against them. But then they humble themselves in response again to Shemaiah the prophet and his words. They humble themselves, and the wrath of God is turned away. Yeah, there are some consequences to their unfaithfulness, some consequences to their sin, but the wrath is turned away, and they are not ultimately defeated by Egypt. And that's a lesson that the people needed to hear. Unfaithfulness does not mean the end. God can forgive, God can restore, and the fact that they had gone into captivity does not mean that God has abandoned them. He certainly has not abandoned them. He's made promises to them. He'll be faithful to those promises, but there's this issue of faithfulness and repentance, and there's the issues of restoration, and that's what we're talking about here. And so that's what you see in chapter 12. Then in chapter 13, you read about Abijam, the son of Rehoboam, who takes over as king there in Jerusalem. And here's where you see that the writer's not so much interested in the history, because 1 Kings 15 tells us that Abijah was a great sinner. But that's not what we hear in this chapter. Here he illustrates the point that humility and trust in the Lord will bring about victory. And that's what happens here, because Abijam is fighting against Jeroboam, the leader of the northern kingdom of Israel. And you see this incredible speech that Abijam makes at the beginning of this battle. And he rebukes the northern kingdom. He rebukes Jeroboam for their rebellion against the kingdom of David, which God has made promises about. He rebukes them for their apostasy. They have created these 2 golden calves, and they are worshiping them there. And he points out that Judah, they are truly worshiping the Lord. You see that in verses 10 and 11. It says, "But as for us, the Lord is our God, and we have not forsaken him. We have priests ministering to the Lord who are sons of Aaron, and Levites for their service. They offer to the Lord every morning and every evening burnt offerings and incense of sweet spices, set out the showbread on the table of pure gold, and care for the golden lampstand with its lamps, that its lamps may not burn every evening. For we keep the charge of the Lord our God, but you have forsaken him. Behold, God is with us at our head, and his priests with their battle trumpets to sound the call to battle against you, O sons of Israel. Do not fight against the Lord, the God of your fathers, for you cannot succeed." And you know, the northern kingdom of Israel had twice as many men, but yet Abijam says, yeah, but we have God with us. We have not forsaken the worship of him. And he exhorts them, do not fight against God. But while he's giving this speech, Jeroboam has his troops moving around to surround them. Well, they shout the battle cry, they call out to the Lord. And verse 15 says, God defeated Jeroboam and his army. 500,000 of them fell. And it says that Abijah won in verse 18 because they relied on the Lord. And so here you see, don't the issues of forsaking the Lord or relying on the Lord. Those who rely on the Lord, they see his great blessings upon them. And that's the word of encouragement that is being given to the people by the writer of Chronicles. And that's a principle. See, now we identify what it's talking about here, and then we pull out timeless principles. And that is that God can forgive, God can restore. We can rely upon the Lord, and we can see him win the victories. Those are all principles, timeless principles that are not only taught in this passage, but throughout the Bible, principles that are directly applicable to the people that this book was written to, but they are timeless in that they apply to all people everywhere all the time. And that's what you and I can take away in the middle of this week, that God is faithful and we can rely upon him and know the victory over sin, the victory in our own lives. We know the victory in the Lord. So again, we see great encouragement. That's why these portions are written by the chronicler to encourage the people and to encourage you and me. So let's thank God for the encouragement that we have from him, that we can trust in him at all times. And we'll keep chugging along here in Bible time as we go through the book of Chronicles. We're having a great time. We'll see you tomorrow for more.